Beatty here. I hope all of you guys are having a wonderful day today. We're going to be using our Coinigy chart today because TradingView is down. We're going to be diving into these potential breakouts. This is a live stream. It's going to be on an hour long. So if you're watching this after it's published, I do apologize for the long video. Once again, you guys are more than welcome to use the 1.25x in the description or I'm sorry, in the video settings, or you guys can just always tune into our daily videos where it's a lot shorter and condensed. But let's go ahead and look at Tron first and foremost, because Tron is obviously a pattern that has been forming over quite a bit of time. You can see this elongated channel here where we're forming some support levels right around 500, 600 Satoshis. We'll say 600 here. It was 599. And then you can see the resistance level right around 664 Satoshis right up here. And pretty much right now for Tron, this might disappoint some of you guys, but it's a waiting game. The chart itself still needs to mature in my opinion. Obviously, we're starting to form this horizontal channel, but there's still a lot of potential upside for Tron in the near future if we add some indicators here. We're going to be using the moving average indicator here, and we're going to be setting this up for a 50-day, a 100-day, and a 200-day. And then if you guys are using Coinigy for the first time, like I am, I can show you exactly how to go ahead and do that. Pretty much what you'll see here is the moving average pop up right here in the back. And what you can do is actually double click that and then go ahead and set those up for those specific settings that you'd like to have on there. So you can see here, this is going to be the 50-day moving average. And we'll go ahead and style that in red, and then we'll make that a little bit thicker. And then we can go ahead and change this to the 100-day moving average. And then we can go ahead and change that color, maybe leave it there, and then do the next one in yellow. And then you can see exactly how that's done there. So hopefully some of you guys learned something right there. But let's go ahead and just dive right into this video. So now that we have our moving averages pulled up, I want you guys to take a look at the one-day chart here for Tron, because there's something very interesting here. You can see we bounced right off of this 50-day moving average here. It's something that we've been watching for quite a bit now. And what's interesting about that is now we're starting to coast off to this right-hand side, forming that horizontal channel, now starting to get back towards that 50-day moving average. And if you guys know how a moving average works, as time progresses, if the price stays up, that moving average is going to start catching up to it. So Tron could potentially see a breakout in the near future. You can see if you're looking at these support levels, it is ascending, and then you can see these resistance levels here as well. It's descending. So that would indicate a pennant. If you guys are not familiar with a pennant, if you guys are on our Discord, this is a free resource, by the way. A lot of you guys know about it, but if you're not familiar with it, I highly recommend getting on our Discord. This will change your life. If you go to our Trading 101 section, you can actually pull up the pennant here. I'm sorry, that was the descending triangle. Let me pull up the pennant. The pennant is in the bottom here where there's that descending resistance and that ascending support, which does indicate that potential breakout. So Tron is looking good so far. However, I think it still needs to mature a little bit. I think we still need to see a little bit more of that support build and a little bit more of those descending resistance levels. As you know, we're starting to form that narrow squeeze, and anytime a price squeezes, there's that potential for a breakout. So let's go ahead and take another request here. We got a ton of people live watching this right now. Looks like we have about 527 live viewers right now. Let's go ahead and just pop a request out really quick. Welcome to the stream, y'all. Somebody said Q-Link. We'll go ahead and pull up Q-Link and see how that's looking here in our Coinigy chart, being that TradingView is down for the first time. Oh, Q-Link is not pulling up here. I'm not going to try to figure out how that works. Why don't we do a coin that's on this video, like Cardano? Let's do 88 Cardano. Maybe you have to type it in like that. There you go. So looking at Cardano's chart, you can see a little bit different. There's a descending triangle forming. What is the difference between a descending triangle and a pennant? Well, look at the support levels. They're not increasing here. They're staying stable while the resistance levels are decreasing. So that would indicate a descending triangle. Once again, if you guys want a little bit more of a clear definition of that, you guys can go on our Discord and then pull that up. I'm going to go ahead and make these lines a little bit thicker for those of you that have a little bit of some difficulties seeing that. And if you pull up our TradingView reference in our Discord and you pull up the descending triangle, once again, the best leader is always the best student. So for those of you still learning, descending resistance and then a horizontal support, and that's exactly what we're seeing here with 88 Cardano. So maybe not as much of a breakout potential. However, you do see here, this is starting to see some upside. Now, the one thing that can change the path for this chart would be if this upside can surpass this previous resistance. That could potentially lead to a whole new pattern forming here for Cardano 88 that could lead to a breakout. So that's the one upside. Let's go ahead and see who else we got here. Somebody said, do the Elliott waves. I think we're going to have to wait for the Elliott waves. I don't know if we have, you know, that advanced of an audience just yet, Julio. But good try. Maybe soon. We might do a private live stream for that when we're doing our margin trading, if you guys were in our Night Owl. By the way, we're having a Night Owl tonight. It's going to be in our Discord under Voice 2 chat. So everybody here in Voice 2, wow, look at that. That's going to be a huge Night Owl since we've already got so many people there. Highly recommend you guys being there. If you're watching this after it's published already, even coming into those Voice 2 chats in the daytime, it's always popping. I mean, if you go in there right now, I mean, there's people talking in there right now as we speak. I mean, there's always something going on.
It also comes down to the first step, which I forget what.
So, highly recommend that for you guys. Let's go ahead and cruise a little bit with some music for you guys like we used to do back in the day. Not really, like maybe like a week ago. But let's go ahead and play a little bit of music and just kind of cruise along here with the live stream. And let's see what's popping here. And pretty much got a ton of people online right now. Almost 600. Conrad in the house. Matt Marin. Josh Bays. Riley Reed said IOTA. Nick Minell said Elliott waves. Hells yeah. Matt Marin, can you do some TA on Link? That's a possibility. Gustav, IOST. Dan is in the house. Habibi. Kevin. Zachary. Who else do we got? Rishi, Mega. Oh my gosh, you guys go crazy. I love it. Miguel's in the house, said vibe. Why don't we do... Somebody said, yeah, the tunes. Do the Naeem coin, Zachary. You are a funny guy. Do the Naeem coin. Somebody said SNT. XRB. Rayblocks. You guys want to do Rayblocks? Who's going to be in the Night Owl tonight? All right, why don't we do VeChain? Jeff Samuel said VeChain. Let's do VEN. That's also in the title of this video, so he read my mind. I want to do the title of the video before anything because of the people watching this after it's published. You know, I want to give a little bit of grace to those individuals. You can see here we're seeing a little bit of a consolidation here after this extreme run-up. I'm trying to work with this chart. This chart's a little bit new, just to be quite frank, so maybe you guys will learn something as I learn this chart. It's a little bit different, not too different, but definitely is. I think I can add a little bit more here. Maybe adding... No, we don't need the left axis. I think if we can add... Let me see what I want on this chart. See what's available here. It's not as many settings as TradingView, to be quite frank with you. However, it does look like a cool chart at the end of the day because you have this whole feature here where you have these order books where you can actually look at price levels. You can actually pull up any exchange. Like, I think that's awesome. It's actually really cool. It's a cool system, but it's new for me, so bear with me. Is this Bitcoin Cash? They have it under BCC. Nice. All right, let's go back to VEN. Sorry, going off track there on the live stream. That's not always good. So let's pull this up. What is this? Blockchain data. Interesting. That's pretty cool. So looking at VEN, you can see we have this ascending pattern, obviously. To be honest with you, it's not even a pattern. It's just a breakout. You can see we formed a little bit of support here right around 40,000 Satoshis on the way up. Broke out of that pennant and then went a little bit higher. Now we're starting to see some consolidation. So I think we need to pull up maybe like a 4-hour chart here to see a little bit closer in depth what's happening. You can see it's definitely descending in nature. You can pull up this support level going straight down here, and then we can actually make that look a little bit cleaner. And in my opinion, in a chart like this, I don't think it's even seen its full support just yet, but you can see what's really cool about this is if you pull up this 50-day moving average, you can actually tell that we're quite a bit away from that. Is there a ruler here you can measure? Yeah, look at that. We're about, looks to be about 143% away from that 50-day moving average, quite a bit from that 50-day in my opinion. I think VEN is going to see some consolidation. That's just the truth. Doesn't look like it's going to be a bull flag. It doesn't seem to find any sort of level of support. It seems like it's probably going to follow this downtrend here over time. I think that's really what we're going to start seeing here with this coin. So let's go ahead and take another request here, guys. Let that chart mature a little bit. Somebody said falling wedge breakout pattern. I don't think it's a falling wedge in my opinion. Somebody said, nah, I'm going to have to quit my job if I don't get some sleep. Sorry, Donnie. Somebody said, yo, Naeem lost. Hayden, Mayer in the house. Dan Austin said vibe, vibe, vibe. Miguel said vibe. So I guess we got to do vibe. Does everybody want to do vibe? Who wants to do vibe? Let's see. Julio Torres, Alberto, Donnie. Same people. Michael now. Anthony, Andy, Dimaclacogen. That's a cool name. Sounds like a cosmetic. Somebody said, sure. Is that a coin? Sure. Somebody said, do the title ICX. I like it. Why don't we do vibe and then ICX? How about that? We'll just mix it up a little bit. Pull up vibe here. See what's happening with this chart. 1 day chart. Very little data. Let's pull up the 1 hour here. See what's happening. Interesting. Extremely volatile right now, to be quite frank with you. It's going to be hard to analyze this chart, being the fact that it doesn't have enough data to analyze, to be quite frank. But you can see there's obviously some resistance here, right around 12,677 satoshis. It looks like we're also forming some support levels right down here, right around 8,000. I'm sorry, let's say no, 5,152 satoshis. Now this chart's way too early on though, in my opinion, to really get a true support. Yeah, I can't even call that support because it's only really just weathered away from that. And quite honest, to be quite honest with you, this chart's extremely early on to determine patterns. You know, even on a 1 day chart, it's going to be hard to. I would say in this case, here's a little food for thought for those of you that like to trade, and this could really help a lot of you guys. When you see charts like this that are, you know, just now starting to mature, sometimes you need to look at the fundamental aspects of this coin rather than just the technicals. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I trade, Electroneum, and it's a coin that I'm dollar cost averaging. It's a long-term hold for me. I don't think it's gonna pull up here unless they have the Cryptopia chart here. Maybe this CPTA ETN. Yeah, there you go. ETN. Wow, look at that. That is awesome. I like this. I'm liking this Coinigy thing. Wow. That's one of my favorite ICOs. Look at that. You actually have a nice chart here for ETN. I've never seen ETN on a technical chart, so this is actually pretty awesome for me. I love this. This is so cool. You can see there's this ascending triangle here on the 1 day, just in that short-term view. So you can see that ascending support line, and that's a really cool chart, to be quite frank with you. I like this. Might start using this more often. So interesting. I don't know why we pulled up ETN, but yeah, so it's kind of like ETN, right? So it's very early on. For me, I would pull up the coin market cap for a coin like Vibe, and I would look at more of the fundamentals. If you're new to this coin and you don't know what it is, I would first look at the website, open up the white paper before investing in this coin, really looking in at what they want to accomplish. Photorealistic holograms. Interesting. Capturing hologram performances of artists, educators, public figures, and presenting them in immersive virtual worlds. That's a pretty interesting concept. You know, it's a very early on coin though, so that's why I would say give it some time, do a technical, a fundamental analysis on it before investing. But it's, you know, once again, very early on. So let's go ahead and do ICX here. ICX, let's do it through Binance. And let's pull up the ICX BTC chart here, see what's happening with Icon. This coin has been in the press for quite a bit now. People are talking about it. I can see exactly why. It's truly just ascending here, not doing anything else. It's following this upward trend here. Easy ascending support line to form, and then you get, oh, look at that, you even have this pretty clear, yeah, look at that, pretty clear ascending resistance level as well. So there's a clear channel here as well that you can form out. And I would say for this coin, I mean, it's obviously on the upward trend right now. So in this case, you know, I mean, it does need some time to mature, but it's going up. I mean, there's not much to say about that. There's not really any sort of technical here to really determine that it's going down. and let alone going up. It just has this ascending trend. You can see when we zoom in, you can get those levels pinpointed here, and they're pretty accurate. It looks like that channel is following its support line that's ascending. And in this case, I mean, I would say same exact thing with VEN and Electroneum. Do more fundamental analysis on a coin like this, being the fact that it's so early on. You just never know where these prices can head. To be quite frank with you, technical analysis does not necessarily work the best with these types of charts. So that's just the truth. And let's pull up Steem. Let's go ahead and do Steem. That's a coin that's been seeing some upside. And let's see what's happening here with Steem. Let's see what else type of requests we have here. Somebody said, thoughts on Sophia TX. Never heard of that. Looks like wave 5 annual. Just doing some Elliott waves. He's like opening my screen on his screen, and he's like drawn on the screen. He's like, that's an Elliott wave. That's wave 5 right there. Looking at the 1-day chart here for Steem, you can see where we're at here in terms of the 50-day, 100-day, and the 200-day. We're quite quite close to it compared to where we were previously. If you pull up this ruler, you can see that based on this jump, we were almost 102% away from that, and right now we're standing right about, I'd say about 30, 40%, 90% away. So quite a bit, but for the most part we just saw this rise. So it looks like most individuals that had this coin have already seen their profits. So it wasn't quite as close as I thought it was. However, at one point you can see here in this parabolic run, I remember when this happened, it was extremely high. I mean, that was like 300%, 282% away. So there could potentially be more upside here for Steem, but for the most part, I think people are taking profits. You can see there's a little bit of consolidation starting to happen here, and Steem is known to have these huge spurs of volatility. I think a lot of people like to trade this coin, and it really has these huge spurs of volume that just come out of nowhere. This time the volume was parabolic. I mean, it was more than ever. You can see here these green bars just shot up extremely high. That's from my point of view, that's more so big whales that we would call investing in a coin like this, because you don't just see this come out of nowhere. I mean, this is coordinated. This is coordinated money, and a lot of you guys know that. We've talked about that in the past. Hey, you can't spam the chat like that, man. I know our mods like to spam, but it doesn't mean you can spam like that. Be careful. Somebody said elf. Multiple people are saying elf now. Maybe we got to do elf. Let's see how elf looks. So I would say for Steem right now, it already had a breakout. There's not much you can say about this pattern. So let's go in and see if we can find some other breakouts. Let's go ahead and pull up elf here. See if elf looks like a breakout. Elf Bitcoin. Already broke out. So very early on. These graphs just don't have much data for some reason. I think it's because we're pulling up the Binance chart. Let's see if we can pull up maybe like the Bitshares charts here, if that allows you to. Or maybe our TradingView is up now. Let's hope the TradingView is up. Hey, ole, back to TradingView. Awesome, guys. This is my baby. Now I feel good. I was a little uncomfortable on Coinigy, to be quite frank with you. I don't know, it's just like, riding somebody else's bike or riding somebody else's car. It's just kind of weird, You don't feel as comfortable. You're kind of like in this new zone, and you just really want to make sure you're getting it right. So let's take some requests, guys. Let's go ahead and look at the chat here. Let's see what we've got. Somebody said LEND. Big B said not all of us spam. That's good. Sarah seems to be spamming a lot. Maybe we'll be at the Night Owl tonight. Parabolic. Somebody said XLM Jerome. Substratum Mark. Somebody said SNT. INT. Seedless 24/7 said CND is a breakout. So I guess it already broke out. Let's look for newer breakouts. How about that? Somebody says, can you unban me on the Snipers Discord? Was banned for putting a vid. Dr. Mr. Clutch. Yes, I will unban you right now. Just don't do that ever again. We don't want any sort of promotions on our Discord. It's a Discord only meant to post valuable information on. You don't want to post any information on there that is, promoting anything, because people don't like that. Nobody likes to just have a ton of people promoting a ton of different things. You know, it just doesn't ever come out right. But yeah, man, no problem. You know, as long as you ask, then things can go fine. I don't see your username is banned, so you might need to message me on Twitter or something, because I can't find it. Sorry. So let's go ahead and take some more requests. Let's not focus too much on that right now. Oh wait, I think I found you, Doctor. Yeah, there you go. All right, man. You're good to go. Somebody said red coin. Sophia TX. Sophia made her own crypto, supposed to boost her AI. Interesting. I don't get that. I've never done my due diligence on Sophia coin yet, so we'll probably have to look into that. I'm guessing it's a newer coin. Somebody said BTS, Bitshares. I think Bitshares already broke out. I was looking at it today, and it already did break out. If you pull up BTS, BTC, you can see here what happened. Yeah, it broke out of this falling pattern here. You can see we found some really clear support levels around right over here, and then there was a channel forming, and we broke out of that channel, and now we're on the upside. So I would say in terms of the 1 day, there could be potential more upside here for Bitshares. If you guys are looking to get in a trade right now, they can potentially go further up. I think this can certainly see some upward price momentum. And the reason I say that is if you look at this 50-day moving average, the last time we bounced off of that 50-day, look how far we went up. We went all the way up to about, looks like 100% higher than that, and now we're only so far 10% of that, less than 10%, like 8%. So I think there's going to be definite potential upside here for a coin like Bitshares, being that it's so close to that 50-day moving average. That's always a good thing. But I did look at this coin today, and I was, you know, I was eyeing it, but I already saw that it broke out. You can see it's starting to really come out of that channel and start forming its own channel. We'll probably find some support right here where it found previous resistance, and then on its way up. So let's take in another request here. Somebody says, Naeem, how are you, brother? Can you do a coin analysis when you can? A coin analysis. I get a lot of coin analysis requests. I'm typically looking for the best ICOs on my own, so then taking requests is even harder because it takes me time to look into an ICO. It really does, because I really go into depth. I mean, you guys, if you've seen me doing my live trading videos, you guys know how focused I get sometimes. And I mean, I'm like that on the computer for 4 hours, just looking at the team, looking at the potential for mass adoption, looking at what the coin really wants to offer, sometimes going into the GitHub and really going into depth on the coding and seeing what the developers are really trying to put together. You know, sometimes I'll cross-reference codes with different coins and different projects to see, you know, did this individual or this team copy it? Did this team, like, you know, come up with this on their own? You know, like when I looked into IOTA and I realized that the Tangle network wasn't what I perceived it to be, then it really created this loss of confidence for me. But talking about IOTA, Snipers, Jeff said, how long have you been trading crypto? I've been trading crypto, like I bought my first Bitcoin around 2010-ish when I used to accept Bitcoin, but I didn't trade it. I was trading the markets at the time. And around 2014 is when I liquidated all of my assets into crypto and I started trading seriously. So that was really the turning point for me. And then on October 19th of last year, I was able to quit my job and just trade. I walked into my job once, sat down in my cubicle, and the guy next to me, he was a experienced options trader. His name was Anthony, actually a mentor of mine that taught me a lot about options and, you know, and shorts. And what was interesting was I sat down, he was like one day just like, hey Naeem, he's like, why are you here? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you're making more money outside of, you know, you're making more money outside of this job than you are here. And, you know, why are you still here? Like, why don't you just quit and do that full time and pursue it to make more? And I was like, yeah, for sure. So we're gonna go ahead and ban this guy, remove mod, and then let's see here. Yeah, so it was an interesting time for me. When I made that decision, it really shed some light on me on what I really wanted to do long term. I think the biggest thing that really struck me was the fact that I was able to do it in such a short amount of time. You know, I remember when I first started trading, and it was so hard for me to just get $100 to turn into $200. You know, I mean, that was like, it felt like the most difficult thing in the world. And I think that's really where I started to understand and learn the basics and the fundamentals of trading and what it really meant to be a true trader, you know. And that's why I'm so big on teaching it for you guys. So why don't we do a giveaway here? You know, this is actually a book that changed a lot for me. It's called The Internet of Money. I want to give one of these away to one of you guys, you know, and maybe this could change one of your guys' life as it changed mine. You know, this is really when I started to get serious about Bitcoin, and I started realizing that this is something that I wanted to see as a long-term career path for me. And I chose to start really delving into the books, and I've got multiple books around me right now that I've, you know, read multiple times. You know, I'm actually going back through the Principles book by Ray Dalio. He actually runs one of the largest hedge funds in the world, over 175 billion. It's called Bridgewater. And if you actually pull up helpful reads, all of the books that I recommend is actually on here. So the Internet of Money is here as well. If you're not on our Discord, I highly recommend it, by the way. For all of you guys that are watching this live stream, I'd love to meet some of you guys that are new. We're going to be heading towards our voice to chat here in our Discord. We already got tons of people here. You can plug in your mic and talk within the community. Who here enjoyed the Night Owl last night, by the way? Let's go ahead and take let's go take a quick poll. Who here enjoyed the Night Owl last night? Donnie said, IOS T Lun. Joseph said, me. Somebody said, Principles best book. Look at that. It changed my life. Harrison said no. Well, you obviously weren't there, man, because you would have enjoyed it if you were. I think everybody enjoyed it. I mean, there was not one person that didn't enjoy it. I mean, we went through so much knowledge and uncensored information. So I highly recommend all of you guys to get there. The Discord link is in the description below. But here's going to be the question for our giveaway right now. If you guys want to win this book, why don't we do this? What is the definition of the EMA? What is the definition of the EMA? Michael Kim said, just joined Discord yesterday. Welcome, brother. So for the book giveaway, what is the definition of an EMA? Actually the second person that says it. Somebody says, thanks for unbanning me. We was discussing about the fallout and the guy was live streaming talking trash, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Somebody said exponential moving average. There you go. You have to spell it correctly, by the way. So Mark Esther, I think you've won, brother. Emra, I apologize. You were first. That's good. This doesn't count. So, yep. It might look different on some of your screens. Don't send me a screenshot saying I was second. It wasn't Mark, because Mark was second on my screen. That's what I'm going by. So, Mark Etzer, congratulations, bro. Send me a message on Twitter. Send me a direct message on Twitter or Discord, and we'll go ahead and get you that book. So let's go ahead and take some requests, guys. Let's take some coin requests here and look at some technical analysis, see if we can find some potential breakouts here. So obviously BTS, it does have potential to continue seeing that upside once again because it is bouncing off of that 50-day moving average. We'll go ahead and pull up another coin here. Let's actually look at let's pull up, oh, we do have some super chats. Bishaw, hey Ruby member here, thoughts on EOS? Thank you for the super chat, brother. So we'll do EOS BTC here. I was actually drawing some stuff here earlier. Let's go ahead and get a fresh chart here. 1 day. Sometimes you always want to start with the 1 day. So we came out of this huge cup and handle that formed. If you guys didn't know, we talked about this quite a bit ago about this huge cup and handle. If you guys don't know how a cup and handle looks, go on Trading 101. You can see there's initially a huge breakout followed by some consolidation that rounds itself up, and then you see a little bit of a handle form with a little bit of a breakout, and that's pretty much how a cup and handle forms itself. So you can see exactly what happened here, and that's really where we saw this breakout where that handle formed. Now we're starting to see this upside coming up from this 50-day moving average. You can see we're right about 70% away from that 50-day right now. In my opinion, there's still potential for this to continue to go up. However, it's not something that I would necessarily trade at this point because I've already held EOS for quite a while now. I don't plan to put more into it at this point, being the fact that I've already seen my profits, and you know, I think it's pretty high right now in terms of price. I would want to see it back around that 50-day moving average. Once these coins go past the 50-day, because recently a lot of them have, you know, before these coins kind of stayed true to them, you know, their prices, but recently we've seen a huge influx in just demand, and a lot of these coins are shooting away from their 50 days, which really it makes the coin more, you know, it pushes the price higher than it's supposed to be, at the time at least. And you know, it's just kind of the difference between the intrinsic value and the speculative value of a coin. You know, a lot of it is speculation. It's just money that comes in through speculation, and that brings these coins, you know, really high. Like look at Dogecoin. It's over at like $700 million. It hit $1 billion. I mean, is that really worth $1 billion? You have to ask yourself that. So hopefully that helps you out. People were lying about making 20% every day on Bitcoin during the crash. It was so funny. That's interesting. I didn't know that. That's cool. Good job, Big B. Doing a good job, man. So let's go ahead and somebody said you should turn $500 into $5,000 in 30 days. Show us it can be done. That would be a lot of upside. I mean, that would be like more than, you know, my typical average monthly percentages. I mean, that's a lot of money. Take 500 to make it 5,000. You would have to be extremely diligent with your trades and make some really good decisions over the month to do that. I mean, that's, you know, that's way over 100%, and that's if you're trading, right? If you're investing in a ton of ICOs and stuff and you make that, I mean, that's a different story. I mean, you can easily do that. You know, a lot of people are making money just getting into these ICOs really early on. It's called pre-sales, or sometimes you know somebody that knows somebody that gets you access, and you get into these pre-sales before the ICO becomes public, and that can shoot up, you know, exponentially, and you can make tons of money doing that. You know, I know a lot of people. Had a buddy of mine that just made like $6 million in 1 month just trading pre-sale ICOs in Las Vegas. He just had all these connections, had really good people skills, and was able to connect with a ton of different developers and companies. And you know, there's definitely a lot of ways of making money in this industry. I mean, you really have to find your niche, right? You have to find what works for you, what you enjoy doing, and that's really what's going to allow you to prosper in the community. So let's take some requests, guys. What do you guys want to look at tonight? Let's see here. Somebody said milk chocolate. I don't think there's a coin called milk chocolate. Let's go ahead and pull up this coin here, Electra. We got a super chat. Thank you, Devin. Electra. Is that a coin or is that an ICO? If it's an ICO, we can't do an ICO review on this live stream. I think some people get too optimistic about live streams and what you can do in a short amount of time, but you know, I can always pull up this to see if it's a possible good trade. It's right over 100 million, so I trade small caps, which I would consider under 100 million, but this would be considered a mid cap right now at 100 million. It looks like it just came out. I mean, there's not much I can say about it. I mean, I wouldn't mind pulling this up to see what the project has in terms of its, you know, synopsis. Fast, scalable, low fees. We've heard that tons of times. Blazing fast, community driven, POS powerhouse. Nothing I haven't heard already. Just being honest, you know, I mean, seriously. I mean, sometimes when you go through hundreds of these white papers like I have, it's just kind of daunting sometimes, and it gets old, you know. You read the same things over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's like, does this person just want to make money off of his ICO, or does this person really want to make a difference in the community? Does this person really want to add or contribute something to the community and add value? Because that's what matters at the end of the day, guys. My mentor taught me this. He said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. And that's always strung a bell with me, you know, and that's why I value this community so much. And I appreciate for all of you guys, you know, being here tonight and attending our night owl. And that's why I highly recommend you guys to become a part of something bigger than yourself. And I think that's what our Discord really enables us to do. I mean, we've been growing faster than we've ever had. You know, our YouTube channel is thriving right now, and it's prosperous in every way, shape, and form. I mean, we're just now approaching 40,000 subscribers. We've never grown at the speed that we're growing at, and I highly recommend all of you guys to get into our night owl tonight. This is a free resource, by the way. You know, anybody can join this Discord. We're going to be under the Voice 2 after this live stream tonight, so I highly recommend all of you guys to be there. We already have over 75 people in this night owl tonight, so I can't wait to see some of you guys there tonight. The link is in the description below for that. And then somebody said, could you give EBTC a look? EBTC, also not a coin on TradingView, unfortunately. Is that an Ethereum logo inside the Bitcoin logo? Oh my gosh, give me a break. Our mission consists in providing a useful token, a token which enables easy and fast payments with acceptable, respectable fees, and thereby features a similar improvements like e-commerce did when it made old economy business more accessible and simpler to manage. I don't know what I feel about that. Interesting. That's funny. It's like an Ethereum Bitcoin combination. It's at 29 million. I wouldn't trade this, and the reason I wouldn't trade a coin like this is because it's so susceptible to price manipulation. Anytime you have a market cap under 100 million, it's extremely susceptible to price manipulation. You see this huge spur in volume come out of nowhere, right? This all right here could be price manipulation. You see how it goes from less than 100,000, actually right at 100,000 of volume, and then literally within a day it goes up to 7.8 million. Actually goes to 8 million. From 100,000 to 8 million. And you're gonna tell me that's not a price being manipulated, right? I mean, you know, you guys gotta, it's a wild west out there, guys. That's why you see, you know, the institutions shorting Bitcoin right now. That's why you're seeing prices drop, because they can, you know, and if they can, they're gonna do it. I mean, there are people out there that are greedy and want to make money, and they'll take their money and utilize that to their benefit and make more with it. So it's something that you guys have to watch for, right? You know, it's not a game. This market is real, and there are people making a lot of money on other people right now, and you have to watch out, right? So let's take some requests, guys. Let's look at what we have here in terms of requests. We got tons of people in the live stream. That is awesome. Somebody said Telcoin. Elusive Trader said, hey Naeem, I love your content. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. What else did he say? Let me pull it up here. Hey Naeem, love your content. Did they ask a question? Thanks for creating such an amazing platform. You're very welcome. Would you be able to provide some tea on SNT? Elusive Trader. Yeah, why don't we do SNT for that kind message, brother? Status Network Token. Interesting. Okay. Obviously, we're coming back from this huge pattern. I'd be interested to see what this total market cap is. Why did it see such a huge spur? 1 billion. Let's see here. So it went from around $100 million market cap to 500 million. So literally 5x'd itself, and then went all the way to a billion. 5x'd again. 2 billion actually. Interesting. So looking at this coin, I would pull up this 1-day moving average, or this 50-day moving average, but unfortunately you can't see it on this coin right now unless we have more data from other exchanges. But it doesn't look like this coin was out long enough. See, sometimes, there you go, there's some data. So you can see here, based on that 50-day moving average, we're about 22%. Here's what happens, and this tends to happen a lot with these huge run-ups. If you guys want to know how to play these run-ups, typically when you see a run-up like this, what you want to do is you want to be aware of where this EMA is, which is this blue line in the back, and where this 50-day, the 100-day, and the 200-day moving average is. Because let's pull up an example here of a coin that saw a similar run-up, like Tron, right? Everybody knows about Tron. And you can see exactly what happened here with Tron. It's seeing the exact same pattern form. You see that huge run-up, and that's why I said pay attention to these moving averages right over here. Because guess what? This price level will tend to come back to these moving averages. And that's why you see this drop down and bounce on top of that 50-day. That's exactly what's going to happen to SNT, in my opinion. I think based on this chart, looking at where that 50-day is, I think we're going to start to see this either collide and converge with that 50-day, or it will come down to it. But it most likely will kind of go like that while this goes like that. And then this would be the point of buy, in my opinion, because at that point, this 50-day almost acts like a magnet, right? If you put the opposite pole, the polar opposite on the magnet, what tends to happen? It shoots away opposite like that. So that price would shoot up like that, and that's typically what happens with, you know, it's almost like there's pressure being built on here, and that pressure squeezes it into this zone, and then this moving average is also its own pressure right? So it forms that pressure, and then you have all this pressure forming right here in the middle, and then that pressure eventually pops. So hopefully that helps out a little bit, understanding more of just the dynamics of trading, right? Just being the fact that I've been in the market for so long, I have almost like this intuition where I can just look at a graph and say, you know, I think this is going down to this level, right? And it's just something that, I mean, I guess as you trade more and more, then you get that intuition inside of you, right? Somebody said, Big B, join our, awesome, man. Big B, you can spam that too, man, just like Sarah is. Sarah's having fun. You can do that too, man. Thank you for posting that. If you guys come on our Discord, I'd love to meet you guys. If you guys are new to this stream, trust me, I don't care who you are, where you're from, I'd love to have you on there. Whether or not you talk or not, I think it'd be cool to just listen into really how we interact as a community, because you'll see exactly what it is. Gustav says, Naeem, your analysis is spot on. Thanks for the great channel. Please do IOST, brother. Large holding there. So now people are going to start like complimenting me to get the request in. I'll do it. That was a nice comment. Oh my gosh, you have a large holding in this? I feel bad for you, bro. All I see is red. So here's the technical here, guys. So we're pretty much seeing a descending candlestick, and it looks like it's going down. I'm just kidding. All right, let's. I mean, there's not much I can show you here. Like, I mean, even if we pull up the 1 minute chart, you know, this is just, you can't do a technical on this, in my opinion. This is way too short of a time period. But I mean, in terms of this coin, it goes back to what we talked about against Icon and Vibe. You know, you really got to do a technical on this, brother. So I would do an IOTS, you know, if you want to pull it up here. Oh, it's not pulling up here. IOSTS. There you go. Yeah, I would look at this more in terms of a fundamental aspect rather than a technical aspect. You know, where is it trading? On Binance right now? Interesting. The next generation secured highly scalable ecosystem for services. Oh man. The iOS offers a solid infrastructure for all kinds of online service providers. It's ultra high TPS, privacy protection. Interesting. Well, it's probably a coin to look into, right? I'm not going to do that over the live stream, but yeah. So let's take some more requests, guys. Let's look at some requests here and see what we've got popping. Somebody said it's already overpriced at almost 2 billion. Now, can you take a look at INT? Ray Crony. I like that last name, man. Somebody said, hey, IOST just dropped on Binance last night. Oh, that makes more sense. Oh my, you were the sexiest man on YouTube, and I would love to get lost in your eyes. Please look at Telcoin. Okay, you can't do that. How do you have a verified on your account? Maybe we'll do it just because you have verified. That's pretty cool. Maybe we'll look at Telcoin because he's verified. Just because he's verified. I think that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and look at Telcoin and see if there's a potential breakout. My goal in this live stream is to at least find a couple breakouts. I think we found like 2 so far. So let's find at least 2 more. Let's see. TEL, BTC. It's not pulling up here. It's on KuCoin. Okay. Well, we'd have to pull up the KuCoin chart here, which we can do that in just a sec. Let's take another request in the meantime here. Let's see what we've got. Somebody said, can you give your opinion on the CME futures expiring tomorrow? Tyler, why don't we talk about the futures, CME and stuff, all that in the Night Owl tonight? And the reason I say that is because it's better to talk about discussions as a group, in my opinion, rather than in a one-way conversation, the way the live stream is set up, where it's just monologue. So I'd love to see you, Tyler, at the Night Owl tonight, and we'll talk definitely about, you know, the futures contracts that are expiring on the 26th, which is tomorrow. Somebody said, can we talk CME here? No, because it's one way. It's better to talk in a group, in my opinion. Those glasses look hella sexy on you. Can you do Neo? Oh my gosh. Show cup and handle forming. Where? Somebody said you trust. What do you think about trade token? Somebody says breakout man, deep brain chain. Zachary, Nick Rinson, Ray Cronny, Mega V, Callan Brown 7979. That's an interesting name. So let's pull up this coin here on this chart. We'll pull up Tel BTC on KuCoin. See what's happening here. So, okay, pretty simple. In terms of where do you want to buy this coin, I think we're at a pretty good spot. You know, well, not really, because there's not even enough data here. But you're obviously, you know, you're down on this coin if you bought it up here. But you can see we bounced off of this previous support line here. 53 satoshis. It's too small of a coin to analyze. We can't waste time on this right now. You know, not only is it too small, it's just it's not developed yet. You need that graph to mature. So let's take another request here. Somebody said, MTH, is XLM done? We can do XLM. Let's do XLM. How about that? We'll pop up XLM BTC. XLM BTC. Let's see what's happening here. All right. Here's XLM. Interesting. This is actually a more interesting chart now because you can see here in the 1 day we are breaking out. Now the question is, how far can we break out? Is this going to form a cup and handle? That would be interesting. So this could potentially form into a really large cup and handle, which does tend to happen. We saw that happen with EOS. So you have this initial breakout, you've got the cup base form right down here, and then you've got the cup handle that would form once it reaches this previous resistance level, which is where that handle should start to form. Here you'll see a downward trend, and then that downward trend will create that cup and handle. So here, just to draw this out a little bit clearer for you guys, here's what we're seeing. So initial breakout, cup forms, should go all the way up here if it's going to be a cup and handle, and then it should start to consolidate maybe halfway through. That right here would be the indicator of potential breakout that goes up like that. That's exactly how a cup and handle would form. So here's exactly how that looks here in a more technical chart. So this is on our Discord once again, and I highly recommend all of you guys to get on the Discord. Link is in the description for that, and then you guys can actually look at these charts. So yeah, I think that's more of a waiting game now for XLM, being the fact that it broke out. You can never determine the magnitude, you only can determine the price movement, and in this case obviously price movements are up, but the question is it going to continue to go up, or is it going to form a cup and handle and then really start to find itself in a point of upside? Now what's interesting about this chart is this. So as this price goes up, if it does form a cup and handle, this 50-day moving average will also begin to catch up with the actual chart, which is why cup and handles really work well. That's why this right here in a cup and handle is extremely important. You want to see that it consolidates after it forms that cup, because if it doesn't and it just breaks out, there's no true pattern that forms. It's just a breakout, right? But if this consolidates, what ends up happening is it gives time for this 50-day to start to catch up here. And then what did we say happens when that 50-day catches up? It pushes the price, right? And that's why you see breakouts. So if you guys want to understand more of the fundamentals, then there's a lot of stuff you can research in this book. There's actually a book about candlestick charts, and I highly recommend this book. It will help out a lot. All about candlestick charting. This is all on our Discord, guys, so highly recommend that. I'll talk about why the cup and handle works the way it works. I don't think it goes into the cup and handle. I think it goes into other patterns, but it talks about, it's called momentum, right? It's a momentum barrier, and when the momentum barrier is created, the momentum can't be stopped. It forces the price up. So hopefully that assists somebody in some way. Let's go ahead and look at more requests here. How do you get night mode on TradingView Contra? You just click settings. So you double click here. You double click, let me pull it up here. Or you can just right click, I guess, and then you can click on the bottom here, color theme, light or dark. All right, some of your eyes just got blinded, sorry. My bad. Somebody says you trust Mohammed Bashir. Could we do you trust on this chart? That would be interesting. No, you can't. You trust is on a different chart, unfortunately, so I guess we'd have to, let's see where you trust is pulled up on. Yeah, it's under 100 million. I'm not going to mess with that right now. I would do a fundamental analysis on this coin. It's under 100 million, Mohammed, so that means it's, you know, it's susceptible to price manipulation. I mean, that's a pretty big number for me. Ripple Team XRP says Naeem is ignoring everything. LOL. You've obviously never been on other live streamers live stream because they ignore everybody when I actually engage with the audience. So we'll put you on timeout, buddy. I'm just kidding. That doesn't deserve a timeout, but that's just an ignorant comment. Somebody said SNT, SNT, SNT. Neo, please. Let's do Neo. I don't mind doing Neo. Neo is a fun coin. Saw that run up recently. What's happening now? Is it going to continue to run up, right? That's the question. Somebody says, how can I see the 50-day moving average? Malik said LMAO. Bitcoin Hustler says, dude, your damn Discord doesn't let me join. I'm not sure why, man. I think you would have to troubleshoot that. I'm not sure. Maybe you're banned? Your Discord auto bans people? Yeah, it does. It does auto ban actually. So, but what is your username? Hopefully that will help. But yeah, there's a zero tolerance policy on my Discord. Any promotions, any sort of, you know, hard profanity and stuff, it bans you. I mean, we have 22,000 members on our Discord. We don't have the opportunity to keep individuals that are, you know, degrading the community. We have to keep the community extremely value driven and content driven, because if it's not, then it won't be what it is right now. I mean, we're the fastest growing community in crypto, one of the fastest growing. Our YouTube channel, I think, is in the top 5 now, but our Discord is the largest Discord in crypto. So, you know, we have to keep that name. We have to keep our community unified, because without unification comes division, and division is never good. Well, in some cases, division is good if it's for a better cause and there's a different community, but that's a different story. Let's not get into what my mentor taught me. I don't know if you guys like hearing that, but I try my best to keep it into trading. But I think personal development really comes into a lot of what this all has to do, you know, with emotions and such. So it really helps. Habibi said, very respectful name. What do you think of marijuana stocks? I lost a lot of money in a stock called PHOT. Somebody says, yeah, well, I made a second Discord and can't join. I was in there for 30 minutes. Interesting. I'm not sure, man. Send me a message. Somebody said, so sorry, I didn't expect you to read my comment. Finally, MLO. Please, can you do XRP today? I'm wondering how I can join the Discord. Yes, for sure. Ryan Kuhn says, I dig your personal development talks. Yeah, I mean, I literally spent a long part of my life just with my mentors and just developing myself as, you know, as a business entrepreneur. I mean, you know, I have a business background, so that's really where I come from. And, you know, I've traded for a long time, and, you know, knowing about crypto and stuff, it was just the perfect place for me. So we had a couple different requests here. I definitely wanted XRP, but here's my opinion on Neo. I think that we're really high in terms of RSI at this point. We saw this huge run up. And when you look at the history of Neo, I'll pull up the Binance chart. You can see here we passed these previous resistance levels, which were right around 11,747, actually 0.01 in Satoshis. And now we're starting to see a little bit of support pretty much where those resistance levels were previously created. And even if you look at that, you can see it's fairly similar in terms of where it's created. But in my opinion, for this to go any higher would be quite astonishing for Neo. I don't think in a fundamental perspective that Neo is at the point where it's deserving of a price this high, and that's just the truth. Nothing against Neo, but you know, if you look at their GitHub, there's just been a lack of development over the past couple of weeks. There really has been a lack of a lot of things for Neo, and I don't know if it really is deserving of this huge run up right now to continue to go up. I think it could certainly go up. You know, it almost formed like a cup and handle, right? But it didn't, because this surpassed this level. So it was more so of just like a speculation run up rather than an actual technical run up. So there are different types of run-ups, guys. You have to understand that. That's why it's important to really watch these levels when drawing patterns, because there are technical run-ups and there's fundamental run-ups and there's speculative run-ups, right? So the 3 types of run-ups, if you're writing notes down: technical run-ups, fundamental run-ups, and speculative run-ups. And you have to be aware of all three of them to determine what your coin has seen, right? Because it could be a technical run-up, it could be a fundamental run-up, it could be a speculative run-up. You just never know. You have to find out, right? And each one of them is different. Like, you don't want to make a technical call on a fundamental run-up, or you don't want to make a technical call on a speculative run-up. Does that make sense? So hopefully that helps a little bit, if you guys like that. I'm sorry, I have a really important question. If I became a gold patriot on the page, I said you have SMS alerts, but my phone number is from Argentina, so I get the SMS alerts on my phone. No, we actually have a way better system, Mr. Vitale. You actually can download the app on your phone, and it instantly gives you alerts. It doesn't have to go through SMS at all. So you'll get it on your app. So there's an actual app that you can download, and it's all on there. So if you need help with that, just message me on Discord or Twitter. Or Facebook. No, not Facebook. Twitter or Discord. Somebody said, nice suit, bro. Can you do VeChain? You're funny, Ray. We'll pull up VEN. I got a couple of requests VEN, not just because you said nice suit. So VEN is obviously having this consolidation following the run-up. You can see based on this 50-day, we're about 100% away. Now the question is this a bull flag or is this a true consolidation? I think this is a true consolidation. Ignacio said, if I became a gold, I kind of answered that, but thank you for the super chat, brother. If this is a true consolidation, then, you know, I don't see this price going any further up. And the reason this happens, it's not that there's anything wrong with the coin. Maybe because we're seeing a lot of this, I can teach a little bit here. So when you see these run-ups that happen, right, they go up extremely high. And what ends up happening is there's always these points of consolidation. And some people are like, well, it's impossible to continue to go down. Well, no, not really. Understand that a lot of these people right here have been holding this coin for a while, right? So all these people out of nowhere have these profits that have occurred right over here. And it's called unrealized profits, right? So because there's a huge gap here of people that didn't have profits that now have profits, when they take profits, you almost can slash this in half, right? So if you take this graph right here and then you slash this in half, this is pretty much what happens. So you slash that in half. Sorry, I don't know why it's doing that. So you slash this in half. Oh my gosh, what is going on here? So you slash this in half, right? And let's say half of these people actually take their profits. That's why you see these prices drop. The demand just can't keep up with the profits that are actually being taken from the run-up. So that always ends up consolidating, but it never will consolidate back to where it started because not everybody takes their profits, right? So that's kind of like the psychological aspect of that. DJ Mix Atlanta said, longtime fan, first chat, you're awesome, brother. When I grow younger, I want to be like you, LOL. That's funny, man. Somebody on Twitter today said, they said, I don't know if this is weird, but I'm 64, and when I grow up, I want to be like you. I'm like, what the heck? That is so weird. Somebody said, today to the moon. Hey, DJ Mix Atlanta, I'd love to see you on our Discord tonight on the Night Owl, brother. Since you said you've been a long-time fan, man. This is a free resource. I just posted the link for you on the chat. But if you go down here to Voice 2, we're all going to be here. You can see we got tons of people already here, over 70 people. They're just kind of relaxing up here. Oh, actually, over 89 people. And then we can actually talk, man. And if you don't have a mic, then you can just chat. You know, if you don't have a mic, you can just go on the Voice 2 channel. We'll read some of your questions and stuff. So both of them will work. So I'd love to see some of you guys there. Let's do some VIP access requests here. Mr. Rao Work No Play said, Ken, yes. Any coin requests for live stream? All right. So we do have a couple requests here. So if you are in a VIP access, you can request a coin automatically. XMR broke, Monero broke out, possibly been stagnant for a bit. Could you do that in a live stream? Yes, I can, Jay Fells. So we'll do XMR and see what's happening here with XMR. Let's see what's going on here with Monero. Okay, interesting. We're seeing consolidation after this run up. Did have a couple breakouts here, right? Looks like we found resistance where we previously found resistance right here around 0.03 Satoshis. So you can see right here, it's really where we cut that resistance line. And based on this chart, what I would say, I mean, you almost want to look at this as a cup and handle, because you see this run up and then you see the cup form. This is extremely dramatic. Let's go ahead and justify that. Let's pull up an 8 hour, see if we can justify that as a cup and handle. Okay, I could, yeah, I wouldn't mind calling this, I wouldn't mind calling this play. Yeah, I think this is a potential breakout. The reason I say that is it's extremely volatile. We're seeing these wicks just kind of shoot up in the air, but that's expected in this market. You can see this initial run up, which confirms that. You can see we formed this base here. It touched once, but if you look here in the cup and handle, it doesn't necessarily have to touch multiple times. These graphs are actually professionally written and drawn out, so that's why you see here it doesn't have to touch. You see here it touches twice, but for the most part, it's just that you're seeing this roundabout. It can be steep, right? It's fine to be steep, and you can even look at this chart and say, well, yeah, it did touch twice, right? Because you look down here and you can see, bam, touched here, went up, touched there, right? So I would say this is a pretty nice cup and handle that's forming here from Monero. Wow. I think when it consolidates, it's probably going to go back down to possibly this level, meaning that we found previous support around that level. If you look on this left-hand side, you want to look at that handle. See, the handle is almost, this is something that is a little bit new for some of you guys that understand cup and handles. This right here is also almost like a copy of what's going to happen here. That's how cup and handles work, right? It's a duplication. So you can expect it to do the same exact thing over here. You listening, Jay fellas? So when that consolidates and it touches, I think the best buy zone would be around that area. And if you pull up the 1 day, guess what also is around that area? The 50-day moving average. So not only is this where the handle will potentially form, but that's also where the 50-day is. So I would say to play this correctly, and even for it to become a cup and handle, it would have to go down there. So as soon as it touches that 50-day, look at that. Isn't that awesome? EJL said no cup and handle there. Well, I just showed exactly why it's a cup and handle, so why don't you get on the live stream and show us exactly why it's not? How is this not a cup and handle? It's exactly what this chart forms, right? So you're obviously wrong. I'm very confident that this is a cup and handle. This is a cup and handle. There's nothing that indicates this isn't a cup and handle. There's a clear cup forming. There's a clear breakout. There's a clear handle forming. So this isn't a hard one. It looks hard because there's a lot of wicks, right? Anyways, so this is going to start correcting down to that 50-day moving average. Once it hits, it's most likely going to start to bounce from that. And as soon as that bounces, remember what we talked about earlier about the 50-day. What is a cup and handle supposed to do? The cup and handle is supposed to mediate this 50-day moving average. That's why it swings it. It's almost like if you've ever been to the gym. I don't know if you've ever done the ropes. Like, maybe I'll show you a picture of it. Gym ropes. It's kind of like the same thing. This is what the cup and handle does to the 50-day, and that's why you see a breakout, right? So this is what's happening. You're seeing this rope start to fold like that, and as that rope folds, it's exactly what you're seeing here. Look at that 50-day. It's folding, and that's what the cup and handle does. So it comes up here, it touches, drops a little bit, and as soon as you see that drop, it pushes that price up. So can you apply Fibonacci retracement? That's a good question. So somebody just asked, could you apply Fibonacci retracement and trend-based fib extension on cup and handles? Certainly. And the reason I say that is because you can actually look at the Fibonacci levels, because Fibonacci can also indicate what? Support and resistance levels, right? Let's do a book giveaway. How about we do that? Let's do a giveaway here. The Internet of Money. One of the best books here on blockchain and Bitcoin by Andreas M. Ontapanalas. So let's do we'll do a simple one. How about this? The fifth person to answer wins. Is a cup and handle a breakout pattern or a reversal pattern? Let's see who's paying attention, because it seems like some people aren't paying attention, like EJL0306 saying it's not a cup and handle. Well, obviously it is. Malik said, Adina, this is a hard one. Well, if you're paying attention, bro, this could help you, man. So we said the fifth person, right? Somebody said, I really love Naeem. This guy's so smart, and he have got a very interesting point of view. I would gladly hear his opinion about Ripple today. Been stabilizing around 120. I expect a huge run up in the next coming weeks. Yeah, we'll look at Ripple. So it's a breakout pattern, right? So on my screen, we got one. Cash X was first. Galeth was second. Crypto Core was third. Dr. McClutch was fourth. Ripple Team was fifth. There you go. Ripple Team XRP, brother. You won, man. Send me a message on Twitter or Discord, and we'll verify your YouTube account, and then we'll get you that book, brother. Congratulations. So you're paying attention. Good job. Somebody says, nice glasses, bro. They look like mine. Can you do XVG? You're funny. And then he said breakout. That is hilarious. Big B is making it happen. Thank you, brother. So let's go ahead and move on here. So good call, brother. Hopefully that helped out with the technical. I know we have our meeting coming up soon too, so that's going to be good. Let's go ahead and take another VIP request here. We got, let's see here, XMR. Didn't we have two others right before that? Oh, he changed it. SRN. What coin do we invest in long-term, Mohammed? Long-term, I would say the coins that I like long-term right now. That's a good question. Definitely Ethereum. I love Ethereum's, use case. I think it's at an all-time, I mean, it's almost like this game changer in the industry. I mean, without Ethereum, you wouldn't have all these ERC20 tokens, right? And without ERC20, then you don't have ICOs, and that would have changed everything, right? It wouldn't be the market that we have today. I think Stellar and Ripple obviously are long-term coins. I mean, they have long-term visions for their, their coin, Bitcoin storage of value. Bitcoin Cash, surprisingly for me, I think it's a great peer-to-peer exchange of, a currency. Really fulfills Satoshi Nakamoto's vision quite well. I would say even a coin like EOS, it's like Ethereum on steroids. I can see that competing with Ethereum in the future. Definitely not replacing it, because Ethereum has too much use case right now. It's too advanced. But I like EOS. Always has high volume. You can see it's at 1.5 billion right now in volume, and it's number 9, right? It's really good in terms of where it's at in market cap at 8 billion, right? So you see here 8 billion, 1.5, very good. I like Monero for the long term. I think Monero has a lot of potential as well, being that it's a privacy coin. It works towards that niche. I think there's a big need for these niche coins that really can fulfill a lot for, the niche that they're working towards. So yeah, those are a couple long-term holds that I personally have made, and I only like to put my money where my mouth is, right? So I have certain area of my portfolio where I hold long. I have a certain area of my portfolio where I swing trade, and then I also have a certain area where I day trade, right? Day trading for me is like playing video games. I used to play video games and, Call of Duty, but now I trade, right? It's fun, and you get to make money if you do it right. So Bars said XRB. We can do XRB. Let's pull up XRB, and then we're gonna start heading over to our night owl soon, guys. So it's not pulling up, but we'll do requests here. REQ. Interesting. Okay, cool. I like this graph. It is forming currently a descending triangle, because it does have this horizontal support, and then it has this descending resistance. So that's definitely a descending triangle. But what's interesting about the descending triangle is it's getting close to that 50-day. For this, I would play this the same way I play all of my descending triangles, and that would be to just wait for this to touch this, And then as soon as you see that touch, then that right there, I don't know why that went so weird. That was a weird squiggly line. So as soon as this touches, okay, that's still weird. As soon as that touches the 50-day, it's probably going to bounce. You can see back here, bounced off that 50-day. Even though you don't see the 50-day, you can assume that it bounced off of it because that's where the 50-day came from. So it kind of follows that pattern, right? So you can see that's where this ended up breaking out, and at this point it was probably negative. So what I would say in this case, as soon as it hits that 50-day, that's how descending triangles work. This is exactly what happened with Tron. These are easy patterns, guys. Easy patterns. Look at that. So if you remove these drawing tools, bam, bounced off that 50-day, formed a descending pattern, bounced off, and then went up. So, and that's just a temporary swing trade philosophy on that one. So hopefully that helps out. And then Mr. Rao Work No Play. Welcome to the Emerald Squad, brother. I know you just got into the Emerald Squad. So SRN BTC. Let's pull up SRN. All right, so we'll have to pull that. So we'll take a request in the meantime. I'll get this pulled up on our KuCoin. Let's go ahead and see what request we have here. Let's see here. Somebody said breakout, breakout. People are still saying breakout. Interesting. Now I'll pull up KuCoin with the request. Somebody said, what would happen if we bought up all the Bitcoin and just held it? I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it's almost impossible to happen because the miners will typically sell their Bitcoin and fund their mining. A lot of miners hold their Bitcoin, but I don't think it will get to a point where everybody's holding. That would be awesome, but that would drive up the price extremely high because it's all based upon supply and demand. And if there's no supply, there's always going to be demand. The prices will soar through the roof. And that's kind of the philosophy of Bitcoin, right? Like people wonder, well, how is this thing going to go and, you know, go as high as people expect it to go? Well, it's because once it runs out, it runs out. I mean, what are you going to do? Like when people don't want to give it up, nobody wants to give it up. Edgar Santana, I love your channel, mate. Keep up the good job. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that, Edgar. I'd love to see you in our night owl tonight, man, in our Discord. Look, we got over, how many people we got? 95 plus people. So we got almost 100 people on our night owl. That's how you know it's going to be really good tonight. So we're going to start heading over there soon in just a sec. Somebody says, you know a descending triangle is a bearish pattern, right? Yeah, obviously, EJL. It's a reverse pattern, man. This guy's been a little smart today. Interesting. Sometimes it's fun to have some smart ones. Maybe he needs to get on the Discord, post his charts if he thinks he's so good at charting. If you guys think you're good at charting, go to Discord and post your charts. We got a chart section here. Let's see what you guys got. You know, look at these. If you're not putting out stuff like this, then you're not contributing anything but FUD. So don't be a fudder. All right, so you're avoiding doing fibs by doing a book giveaway. You, all right. Let's go ahead and you guys wanna? He says I'm avoiding doing fib. Let's people don't realize that we're the fastest growing crypto channel, and I really don't care about putting somebody into a timeout. So bye-bye. Have a nice day, brother. We don't need you here. We got serious investors in this. We don't need shills. So let's go ahead and pull up request, and then we'll start heading over to our night owl tonight. We're going to be discussing the futures contracts that are ending tomorrow. Some of them starting, right? So that's going to happen on the 26th. Today's the 25th. It is midnight, past midnight. So that's tomorrow, aka the next day after tomorrow, depending on where you live. This is a nice chart. I like this chart. You have some very clear support levels here. So you can see here we have some support right around 3,662 satoshis. Somebody said, "Oh, this is funny. Let's do this real quick." Somebody said, "Name, can I be your mentor?" It depends, man. What do you have, man? How much value could you bring to the table? Somebody says already tomorrow here in Australia. It's hard to know when to come in and out of buying and selling. You think if I buy some Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Bitcash for the long, that works? Interesting. Isn't TRX starting a cup and handle? We'll definitely look at that, Mr. Dedoys. I know we have XRP to look at as well. But for this coin, you know, it looks like we have a couple different support levels here. We have another support level here right around 4,030 Satoshis. This one's a little bit more of an ascending support line, which is a good thing. You have a descending resistance level, which is fine. So you can see here, descending resistance. And what seems to happen quite often with coins like this is every time it hits this level where it sees its run up, it bounces, right? So you see these coins, anytime they hit that support, they tend to bounce. Okay, this just veered out of nowhere. Interesting. This is a CoinG chart. So Marcus Koster likes to use this chart. He does it all the time. So you can see here, we're at these really low levels. I would say it's a good place to buy. I mean, this is a great place to buy in my opinion. Once again, you know exactly where the support is at, so you know exactly where to set up your stop losses, and there's not much risk to a trade like this. That's why I like trades like this, because there's not much risk, you know? And trading is all about managing your risk so you're not losing money, right? So I would set up stop losses around this area. Even though you've seen this hit triple bottom here, still put these stop losses just in case. I would say this whole area here is a good spot for that stop loss. So you just have to determine where you want it, how much risk do you want to take. But I would say this is really where the stop loss needs to be put. So if you're putting a buy order here, take a stop loss here, and then I would say in terms of taking profits, if you were to take profits, I'd let it break out, and then there's obviously some clear resistance, so you can start to take profits right over here. And I would take profits all the way up to, and this is if you're swing trading, right? I would take profits all the way up to around this margin where there's strong resistance. You can see there's extremely strong resistance around that area. So this is all profit zone right here. So this is all about risk as well. How much are you willing to risk in terms of the profits that you're going to take, right? So that would be my profit zone right over here. So if you're going to trade that, that's how I would trade this. So let's pull up, so somebody said TRX is forming a cup and handle potentially. Let's go ahead and see if that's true. If it is, good call. No cup and handle. Yeah, I kind of knew that already, to be honest with you, because I watched this chart. I just took your word for it. I guess I'm gullible in that way, right? But there's no cup and handle forming. This is way too overstretched. There's no sort of handle. Even if you were to try to call this a cup and handle, there really isn't much to say. And this is way too overstretched of a handle. Like, this can be stretched out and it's fine, but I would say the limit is almost like right here. The handle can't go past that. If it goes past that, it's way too overstretched. And typically the handle, you'll want to see it. This just isn't a cup and handle. There's no way that's a cup and handle. Let's do XRP really quick. XRP BTC. What's happening with Ripple? Pull up the 1 day. See what's happening here. So interesting chart with Ripple, because we bounced off of that 50-day. Once again, you guys could have almost predicted this. That's why I talk about the 50-day quite often. So you bounced off of that. Now we're seeing a little bit of support up here, right around 117,048 Satoshis. Looks like we're coming down from these previous highs. And at this point, I would say that as long as this channel continues to go to that right and form that horizontal channel, then this 50-day moving average will start to catch up to that price, and that right there will allow this price to go higher. If it drops below the 50-day, it'll go down to that 100-day. So that's kind of the two scenarios here. And I know, like today, we actually predicted a breakout today. If you guys are Patreons, you guys know we, you know, there are a couple graphs that are still forming, but we actually predicted this right here. It had a minor breakout. You can see here. We posted this on our Patreon for the trade alerts. I think we posted this while it was, let me actually pull that up. I forgot how it looked when we posted it. But I think it was pretty similar to where it's at right now. So if you go to the trade alerts that we posted, there's a lot of them that are still maturing, but so if you guys have to get our trading alerts, so we posted this today. I think we had like 4 trading alerts today, but so we posted it right before that breakout, and then you can see now we've started to touch that level. If you pull up the 2 hour, you can see we are starting to go above that. now. So it's starting to see a breakout. If you pull up the coin market cap, we're about 6.42% US dollar, but this is really what you want to pay attention to, the Satoshi value here. I did a poll today on Twitter. I was like, do you guys prefer Satoshi or US dollars? I wanted to see how many beginners we had on our Twitter, and we had a lot of people say US dollars. And you got to look at the Satoshi value. That's what you're trading. When you're trading these altcoins, you're using Satoshis, you're using Bitcoin. You want to look at that value. That's important. So we're going to start heading over to our night owl, guys. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about the futures, the contracts for the futures, and we're going to talk about a ton of different topics. So I hope to see some of you guys there tonight. If you guys don't have our Discord, the link is in the description. I'll post that on the chat right now. You can see here, this is our Discord. We're going to be under we have over 99 people right now. So over 100 already in our night owl. So I'd love to see all of you guys there tonight. Just join voice_2 and make sure you turn on your push to talk. Click this little gear in the bottom left, user settings, click voice and video, push to talk, and then have your shortcut set up, and then it'll allow you to talk in the voice chat. So the Discord is there's a web version, a mobile version. You can be in bed and listen. So I'd love to see some of you guys there tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry for being a little bit late with the live stream. TradingView was down. I was just figuring out whether I wanted to use Coinigy or not, so I had to sign up and do all that, and you know, I was kind of late too. So yeah, you're very welcome, Vinci. You're very welcome. Somebody said that music is off the hook. That is awesome, Robert. Good to have you, Paul. Good to have you, Crypto Gains. Good to have you, Russell. Good to have you, Michael. I'd love to see you on the Discord, man. He said heading to Discord. Investors of Crypto, Snipers Tube rocks. Thank you, brother. Good morning from the Netherlands. Amir, I like it. I still can't get into Discord. I am slow. Robier, man. I don't know what you're doing, dude. If you can figure it out, man. Take care, Ray. Take care, Curious Crow. Letario Dedois. Take care, Jawad. Dennis. Good to have you guys tonight. Thank you for tuning in. How do you do a video inside of the video? I don't get it. The one or the other. Take care, Controller Gaming. Take care, Mark. Good to have you guys on tonight. KK, Frank, Edgar, Cross Bisa, Alan, Glenn, Brent, Sinnerman, Michael, Dom, Pasha, and an XYP. Thank you for tuning in tonight, guys. I'll see you guys at the Night Owl. And like always, Snipers out.